Hey everybody, this is Coin Week editor Charles Morgan. I'm reporting to you from Traverse City, Michigan, site of the 2018 Early American Coppers Convention. The EAC is a collection of sophisticated and very enthusiastic numismatists who study early copper coins from the United States. As you can see, this is a bourse floor. It's filled with coin dealers and copper collectors. It's a pretty nice bourse. A small, intimate environment, almost entirely made up of dealers selling copper coins, as you'd expect. I wanted to take a few minutes here and show you some of the cool exhibits that are on display at the show and kind of give you a little bit of my commentary about them. The exhibits are being judged by the EAC members for Best in Show. There's a little more than maybe 7 or 8 exhibits. Some of them have some pretty cool and interesting things, some coins and some books and ephemera that you don't see very often. And so I thought maybe you'd be interested. So I'm going to switch my camera's focus around real quick, and we're going to go walk through a few of these exhibits. Let's start here. This is the U.S. coinage of 1857. Now we'll move the lamp here. What you see here is actually the original 10. This is the 10 denominations that were authorized by the Coinage Act of 1792. They include the half cent, the cent, the half dime, dime, quarter, half dollar, dollar coin, quarter eagle, $2.50 gold coin, which is right here, the $5 half eagle, and the eagle. This was the last time all 10 of the original 10 were struck. The first time that occurred was in 1796. Of course, 1857 marked the last year of the half cent and the cent. They were replaced by the small flying eagle cent. We move over here, we see 3 coin denominations that were added in 1849 and 50. And I apologize for these lamps. We have here the gold $1 coin of 1849 and the $20 gold coin, which was introduced in 1849. And in 1850, there was a pattern struck in 1849. And then here you have another example of the $1 gold coin. These are the gold, the 1849 to 1854 gold dollar was the tiniest coin ever struck by the United States Mint. Over here, you see 2 coins that were added. One in 1851, that would be the 3-cent silver, and the other a $3 coin, which was used to buy sheets of stamps at the post office, and you see that gold denomination. You see, when you collect the entire 1857 set, you have 15 different denominations. It's a very challenging date to collect in its entirety, to be honest, but it's something fun that collectors, they make a goal of it, could take care of after some patience and a few years of trying. Again, you get the original copper coins, a variety of silver coins, and a great selection of gold coins. Of course, you also get this tiny little silver coin. As everyone would recognize, this would be the 2nd year of issue of the 1857 Flying Eagle cent. Pattern coins were made in 1856, and some were made for circulation. Many restrikes of the 1856 cent were made. That coin tends to still be popular, despite the fact that it's got quite a few examples struck for a pattern. When you get to California and the sort of the tail end of the California gold rush, you do see some issues that are unusual, like this octagonal assay piece, smaller versions of these Cal fractionals, and also private issue $20 gold coin, or $50 gold coin, I'm sorry. These were called slugs or quintuple eagles. The gold denominations here were in denominations of 1/4, 50 cents, and a dollar. Kind of hard to imagine a gold piece having a value of a quarter. Let's move over here. Soon after 1857, you see the introduction of a few Civil War era and shortly thereafter era coins. You have the popular flying Indian, or the Indian head cent, the 2-cent copper coin, the 3-cent nickel coin, which was a way to debase the 3-cent silver coin and call back fractional currency that was issued during the Civil War, and the shield nickel. Let's move over to this other exhibit, which actually has something very unusual. This is a copy of William Sheldon's Penny Whimsy, which was a revision of early American Sense, which was published in the 1950s. This example features signatures of members of the EAC from the first EAC meeting and thereafter. Some very famous numismatists are included here, including Walter Green, Dorothy Paschal, and of course Dr. Sheldon. Many of the numismatists who are included in this book became very prominent collectors of copper coins, and several of them are still around. You see a hardbound edition of Ted Nasker's auction catalogs, hardbound. These are highly collectible. You see a very beautiful slab, 1856 N6 upright 5 with a lot of original red. So if you've never seen an early copper coin with a lot of original red, here's a great example. This is CAC certified. It's being strong for the grade. And you see some bid sheets from the William Cutler Atwater collection, which was conducted by B. Maxwell. And you see the bid sheet here for Ted Nasker. Those large cent prices for these exceptional coins a lot lower than what you see today. Let's move over to another exhibit. This is a die study of 1818 and 2 cents. You see, serious specialists will keep detailed notes about their coins, and they enjoy the coins for the idiosyncrasies that each piece has. You see this N2E has a die break at the top United and a light crack. Over here, you see one with a closer date and stars away, the cracking United. The U.S. Mint would use these dies until they were in terminal state, cracked, and part of the fun of collecting them by die state is to see the progression of these issues. Unlike modern mint coins, which are produced in the billions, with dies that last for quite a long time using modern technology, these coins from America's past were struck without the benefit of modern machinery. So the mint workers had to make do in order to fulfill the demand. Additional pieces.
One of those is not right. Charles Morgan is a DAC member. He's
Yeah.
documented a lot of stuff for us, and he's documented my display. Would we want him to see this at all? Is that a problem for anybody?
No problem. The more people know, the better
You
it is.
want to say something or introduce it?
What would I say other than having looked at this display and having discovered especially that the reverses are the same? That's how I'm beginning to recognize that the 05C4 and the 06C1 have the same reverse. It's easier to recognize some of the diagnostics on two different dates. My friend Jim showed me a coin that he liked a lot, and all of a sudden he pointed out a dot on the obverse, which was a red flag for me, which made me come back and check at this display the fact that it had all the other signs that I had memorized too on the reverse, of being one of a group that are identical in this format, which means that to me it's a sure sign that it's counterfeit. You can't have the same scratches and the same nicks on identical coins everywhere. Besides, it has scratches from the original host coin that are...
Right, so when you're making copies from an imperfect source, those
They're
imperfections
right
will carry on.
Sure.
So so let's look at this coin close up. I'm actually live right now on Facebook. So here we have the coin. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, there's every indication looking at that coin that it would be an authentic.
It looks perfect. The surface is beautiful. Actually, a very nice coin. No reason why someone wouldn't want to have bought it, but I don't know if you can hone in on the dot next to the E.
Yeah.
And that was one telltale sign that this could be a problem. When I turned it over and looked at the gash between the F and the A, I don't know if you can see that on the reverse.
you see it.
And then there's other indicators on there that are smaller but true indicators. You can't have those, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, on identical coins one after another.
So is this a coin that was brought to the show for sale?
It's
Or?
at the show, and of course it matches the one that I brought in my exhibit, identical.
Right.
You know, and as we've indicated, you've got the dot at the E, which I just call it the dotted E variety. It shouldn't be there, but that was in the source coin. But there's also a scratch that's been wiped out to the best of their ability that crosses the die break from the one, and it actually truncates that die break. So that die break, as shown on this example, is wrong for any other die state associated with this 1805. So those are two big key characteristics of the Alvarez.
So essentially, this highlights a very big issue. I mean, we're at the Early American Copper Convention. I mean, if you're not at this convention unless you're very serious about collecting these. And if you have coins that are so deceptive that it takes 3 individuals to come wrestle up their memory about a very specific issue to get together to determine that a coin is not authentic, I mean, that shows you basically the threat these coins pose on the marketplace.
And again, you know, in the articles that we've written for Coin Week, we know that there's a source coin, and then we know there are struck fakes. The question becomes in hand, which is the source and which is the actual struck fake. We have a good picture, a good image of the source coin, so we can look at that from a toning standpoint and other characteristics and say, we believe that to be the genuine one, and the other ones then look to be the struck coin.
Right.
That one, from a surface standpoint and coloration, is very, very close to mine.
Right.
Those are identical coins, and obviously they shouldn't carry these unique marks for circulation.
So what would the value of a genuine example of that coin be?
Like this, probably $800.
So somebody's out a significant amount of money just because this coin was
Somebody
purchased
along
by.
the way is out. I'm sure the dealer will repatriate
Yeah.
my customer, or my friend, but whom did he buy it from?
Right.
And where does it end? The person he bought it from, maybe just someone over the counter that came to his table. He bought it, maybe he paid $750 for it.
Right.
So the dealer may be out the money, or
So Jack, this is not only, I mean, hard to use the word validation, but this is just a real world situation that shows the implications of the work you're doing. I mean, are you excited to see this, or are you disappointed to see
Both.
one like this?
Both, yeah.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see that we were able to bring one back to the exhibit and do a comparison and say, yes, there are the diagnostics that you laid out, and this matches.
if it wasn't for Jack and the work he's doing, I know he's not trying to take any of the pride in this, but he's doing an excellent job. If this wasn't here, and if I hadn't seen it at other shows, to remember to look for just the reverses, which I knew were the same on the 2 dates,
Right.
I wouldn't have even thought to go back and look at the obverse. But when I saw the implications on the reverse, the dot on the front matched up perfectly. And the strikes, you know, the repair of the original coin that was the host coin that was bad made it all the better.
So how do you feel finding out this information?
Well, disappointed, scared.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that to my attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. So there you go, folks. Real world numismatics.
You want to take this one with you?
All right, let's go look here.
You go with you, or
This is something that for generations would mark a capstone achievement to complete the major typeset, the Dansko 77 album. And it's always fun to see them when they're complete. Look at all the U.S. major coin types. Of course, this book is a little bit obsolete if you're going to keep up with all the myriad modern issues and types that the U.S. Mint has put out. But up to probably the late 20th century, 1998 probably, this would have been an accurate representation of the U.S. Mint's coinage. There you go. Commemorative coins. And of course, everyone should attempt the gold page. Beautiful. And of course, you can do it at even a lower budget. There's a Whitman page. Of course, all these proof coins are going to tarnish in this environment. But you can see the span of 20th century coins from the United States. Very cool collectibles to take you from the Victorian era to the space age. This is a cool exhibit. Move the lamp a little bit. This is cents of 1834. You can see here is a Noyes 5. Very beautiful coin in a Mint-State 65 brown.
Some of the more traditional things, you know, electric bikes, contemporaries, which circulated at the time that the coins were actually made,
66.
what is wear on them. I've got some other examples that are just various things. I've got a little menu here that kind of describes them.
Yeah.
Then I get into the ones I call cartoons,
Look
which
at
are
that.
ones that
Wouldn't you like
match
something like this in your
have a red
collection?
hook. You could say the head doesn't match that, and the head doesn't match that.
That
Two
die break wrapping
fairly
around the
recent, late
stars.
80s,
So
90s
cool.
struck fakes. But in the case of like this one, they've done is
Still with some of that original red.
and they made dies.
Oh, look at
Then they
this.
just changed
This is a proof.
And so you've got the same obverse.
Let's see if I can get that light to shine on that. Just right. You can see
That obviously keep it. Yeah. But unless
see
you
just the
study,
reflective nature of that coin. Still with some of that red.
That's the kind of stuff coming up on eBay.
There we
That's
go.
the
Look at
same
that.
thing.
Look at
They
that
took an
coin.
1835 C2 and changed the dates on it. And so they look nice. These are a little too flashy.
Here's the
But those are
65 brown in2.
But we've gone from
Small
that.
date. And you see the date's a little smaller. Medium-sized letters.
Duplicated it in a set of dies.
It's actually a great collection. And again, you don't have to have 100 coins in your set. You can have a handful of high-end, beautiful coins that you just enjoy for hours. Nice.
Repaired them well.
I'm going to take you over
You
here.
look at it.
One more exhibit to show you. These are Higley coppers and derivative designs. These were not officially pennies. They were basically value me as you please type pieces that were used, struck by a private mint in order to circulate something of value to facilitate trade in the American colonies. Of course, the Americans really suffered from a lack of coinage, and these private issues were a stopgap measure. And some of these, obviously, are restruck later. And so you see here a broken die of a restriped piece. And these copper pieces. Very cool. Anyway, that's just a little bit of what we have going on here. You never know what you're going to run into or who you're going to run into. Definitely going to run into people with a lot of expertise at a show like this. We filmed so far 6 seminars. We did a grading seminar, which we will publish. Goes over several circulating samples of copper coins, some of them real, some of them fake. We'll have that up. Also filmed an informative video with Bill Eckberg about the hubs that were used to create early American coins. It was always assumed that our earliest coins were hand engraved, but they were sort of hybrids. They had some hubbing and some hand engraving. We also have a great presentation from John Kralevich about U.S. mint medals that were struck during the early copper period. A lot of Indian peace medals, presidential inauguration medals, medals commemorating different military events and naval events. Some really cool pieces. We'll have that for you. We have a video that we shot that covers 2 potential new varieties of 1839 silly head cents. We'll have for you. And we also have a video presentation, 3 of them, that we're going to film today. So in all total, we're probably looking at 9 or 10 pieces of great video content from some of the most skilled and experienced early copper collectors for you. So if you're into large cents or half cents, you're definitely going to learn something cool. Also, Jack Young, who we were just talking with about that counterfeit coin, sat down with me and we did a very informative podcast interview, which will cover how these counterfeit coins are winding up. Real coins coming from the United States being sent to China, being used to make copies that are very, very deceptive, and then sent back, and how those coins are entering in the marketplace. So you'll definitely want to check that out to inform yourself so that you can protect yourself If you know the list of known counterfeits by date, you have the resource on coinweek.com you can go to make sure you don't fall victim. That was an $800 coin we were looking at earlier if it was real, and it's not. So this can be a significant investment on coins that look very, very authentic, coins that could be so deceptive it might even get through the third-party grading process. So you definitely want to check out what we published on Jack's work, award-winning work on part of Jack Young, one of the real fighters in our struggle against counterfeit coins in the collectibles marketplace. Anyway, Coin Week. I'm editor Charles Morgan. I may touch base later if I have time, but if I don't, we'll see you soon. I'll be heading back to the home office tomorrow, and then I might be stopping in D.C. Next week, so we'll see what I got going on there too. All right, talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for saying hi, Michael, Mark Fallon, and Jose Cortez. You guys are great. I'll talk to you later.